Daddy Mac. Dang's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
No, but I was saying, like, if they say it's micro, but I'm 6'2".
Oh my gosh.
Can I say something about the intro song before we go any further? I've heard it a number of times.
Who could stop you?
The intro song that involves me, the AI generated song says Rusty's chain to the mind, MIND, which I don't know. That's very deep. If you meant to say that, Troy, when you prompted ChatGPT.
Wait, that's AI?
I'm sure that's Troy the whole time. I'm sure he did all the instruments and the vocals. But however it happened, it's interesting that mind instead of mine. Clearly, it was supposed to be MINE. But this is
Was it clear?
Well, maybe I am chained to my mind. Maybe it's like a very philosophical statement.
Subtle. Maybe it's the most subtle.
Wow.
Which reminds me, I mean, listen,
nice way to call me OCD.
Is the AI teaching us things we didn't know about ourselves?
I love the Beatles, and everyone always talks about John Lennon was so much smarter than Paul McCartney. I disagree strongly. Paul McCartney is one of the greatest pop musicians of all time, maybe the greatest pop musician of all time, pretty much hands down. And if you've ever listened to songs like Blackbird and things like that, like he's just musically much more complicated than John Lennon. And he wrote a very subtle dig at John Lennon, the first album after he came out in Ram, where he basically says, that was your first mistake. You took your lucky break and you broke it in two. And people are like, I didn't even know that was about John Lennon. Well, John Lennon came out in the next album that basically a song called F You Paul McCartney. It's called How Do You Sleep? It was the most
It's called what?
It's called How Do You Sleep? It's the most unsubtle song. It's basically like the chorus is like F You Paul McCartney. Like,
I did not know that
yesterday.
But I thought he was all about peace and stuff.
Well, that's listen, you guys are about to I don't want to, no, that's not
I almost got you. Got you.
Okay, so this is post breakup.
Yeah.
My Beatles option, my Beatles options, my Beatles knowledge is probably not.
Man, it's long Beatles or short Beatles.
Yeah, I'm more like I had Revolver and Sgt. Pepper and the White Album. I bought the White Album on double CD.
Oh yeah,
Abbey Road had Abbey Road.
Listen, Martha, My Dear is one of the craziest, like, actual complicated songs to play. Like, if you ever tried to play Martha, My Dear on piano. Anyway, shout out Paul McCartney. The guy just makes music. I like that.
Can we just not like pop music? Is that an option? Like, no matter what era, can we just call pop music slop?
You can call it slop music. I don't think Paul McCartney's the best pop musician of all time, but
whoa,
I do agree with you that he's better than Lennon, even though my knowledge is limited. I mean, he's got some. I have seen some of his live stuff, even like 10, 15 years ago. He was still operating at a very high level, McCartney, and he still may be today. I don't know.
His voice is shot, but yeah. I mean, listen, I'm all ears. I'm all ears to hear who the number one pop.
Paul Simon.
You just said it because he's got your name.
No, the quality. Well, I would say the quality of output from Paul Simon. I have to preface this, but you have to cut off like the last 20 years when he's gone magical mystery wild. But his run with Simon and Garfunkel, there's no missed beats. It's a great run. A lot of these bands have some albums you can skip. I think all the Simon and Garfunkel albums are amazing. And then his solo run after that with Graceland, Rhythm of the Saints, etc. Very strong. Very strong.
Okay.
Agree. I love Paul Simon, and I too think Paul Simon's one of the best of all time. I will say that
Pop
what
musicians,
what you
like,
just mentioned,
super
Grace,
popular.
was 20 years after they broke up. You know, so there was he had 20 years
Mm.
in between. He wrote some killers in between. So I don't want to
Yeah,
take
I mean,
from it, but
Kodachrome, me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
yeah,
I like
yeah, yeah.
this.
That's a
Well,
good one.
speaking of
That's a good
my
one.
friends down by the schoolyard, my friends,
You
we
can
are
call me
down
Troy.
in the market this morning a little bit. As CNBC likes to say, if I almost spit up my coffee. Stock futures slip as Wall Street takes a breath after 2-day rally.
I saw
How much have they slipped? Let's take a look live. Oh, they're down 14 points.
big freaking whoop. It's just
Markets
the
are down.
laziest thing. Like, are they even generating those headlines anymore, or are they even writing them, or is it just AI?
I watched a show with Melissa the other night. My wife's Melissa, in case you were worried. I was watching a show with my wife Melissa the other night, and it's a show she loves to watch. It's a very about to go to bed show, but it's from the guy who made Double Dare, the host of Double Dare, Nickelodeon in the 90s. And he basically tours factories and how they make stuff. So it's like today we're looking at Ben and Jerry's.
I like that. I
Oh,
could
it's
watch
great.
that.
It's a great like pre-bed just kind of, but the words they were using in the show, because we have to do this all day, it's part of running a business, is like figuring out what words to use. I told her, like, this is the first thing that was replaced by AI. Whatever they're doing,
Yeah.
these writers,
Yeah.
because it's like, hey, you think that's a cherry? Try cherry marmalade. And you're like, no, humans shouldn't write those words. humans shouldn't write those words. So
Yeah.
those are machine words.
I like it.
Anyway, so market's down a little bit. Listen, the first month, how you guys feeling about the first month? We're almost done. How's trading been for you guys?
I'm down on the month, mostly because I didn't trade much though. Didn't put on many double calendars simply because volatility for a lot of the month was low, and there were a lot of short weeks, right? You've got New Year's Day, and then we've got MLK, and so with a couple different market holidays, and then so that just means I haven't traded much. But when I have traded, it's hard to trade mechanically when you have days like, what was that, Wednesday? Whenever we'd had that giant move, and then like Greenland, we're good now, and then a massive up candle, and then like I know people who are selling premium who talked to me and said it was just a bloodbath day if you were doing zero DT premium. Someone told me they had to recalibrate their average slippages, because if you were using probably any kind of stop, especially on the upside, I think you got brutalized. I thankfully was not doing 0 day. I think I had a Rick on that did pretty well that day. An inverse condor to say, or a reverse condor. But overall, I'm down a little bit. It's just been kind of a mediocre to meh month of not much going on. A lot of chop. VIX was high, then it was low, and it's high. So it's just kind of a weird month. What about you guys?
Troy?
I'm break even in my main account. Small account challenge has been a fun. I mean, it's so much content just because it's like I'm watching in real time the thing that we talk about all day with people, which is like your allocation really is almost part of the strategy.
Yeah.
And so like that SPX put spread is just over allocated to the strategy, and it's lost 3 times in a row, and I pray it loses again. I mean, I can't wait to replace it with things that I feel so much more comfortable with, but we're gonna let the numbers play out, But I mean, again, it's been perfect in the sense of like, if you're new to trading, I'm showing you in real time why you shouldn't over allocate, like what that is.
Right.
So learn from the process of it.
There it is.
Matt, your turn.
I mean, options trading has just been like, I hit my all-time high, I think in November. December was kind of rough. And I also fumbled. I made a sizable mistake missing one of the biggest up days in months in December, because I don't know why, but for some reason I turned off on the half day of Christmas Eve. So December was down. January's been down. I haven't looked. I'm down a little bit, but not a ton. Non-options trades, I've got a lot of fundamental stuff, and those are just,
You're crushing it with that, aren't you?
oh my gosh. I
For
mean,
those who don't know, Matt owns a small portion of the oil industry.
I really, guys, come on. I own oil, very rare, a few minerals, but I mean,
You have some commodity stuff, don't you?
a few commodities. This trade on all sorts of related metals is just, I have friends. Let me see if I can bring up a chart here. I have friends that trade this stuff, day trade it. And I don't, I'm like, listen, I'm working. I don't have time to do all that, but I'll just show you this. I mean, I talked, can you guys see this on the screen? It's just a
Uploading
screenshot.
There
This
we go.
this is a chart
Platinum.
of platinum. And if you remember, I talked about it around tariffs last year, and you can just see what this has done. And I've sold nearly all my position, but the few companies that I still have are up like 600, 500, whatever, 300%. And they're now a huge portion of what I have allocated just because it's continued to run. And of course, here's a question, fellas. How do you know, and this applies to options, how do you know when to sell on something like that? Like,
I would
you
love
know,
to talk about that because I have some thoughts on it that are wrong. But real quick,
yeah,
shout out Romeo, Trade Blocks. Romeo says, I have 3 accounts running the same strategies. 2 of them are one contract, and the big one using 1% for the strategies. The one contract accounts are all up, and the 1% is flat. To the point about allocation.
Yeah.
So that makes complete sense. And I appreciate you sharing. I have a little like a retirement account that's kind of like not connected to anything. You know how these if you're an American, what happens through the years is you get like 15 different retirement accounts, and they just kind of like they're like abandoned children. So I took one of those.
Jeez.
And I bought SIL-J, which is the junior miners for silver. And I did this in December, I think. And I sold calls against this. I have a bunch of shares, sold calls against it at various lengths, some of which were like 2 years out, like way far out of the money, basically doing like leaps or whatever. All of those are about to hit. All of those, like even the most farther out one, that was 3 years out, that was like basically like 80, 90% out of the money, are about to hit. And that's in January. Like that's the run, junior miners have had in silver. So
it's insane.
It's a lot. It's
insane.
It's off. And
is oil next?
I also, for those who think to yourself, oh, I'd like to maybe do an iron condor in silver. I would advise you not to do that. And here's why. It's the worst of both worlds. So I tested that out a couple weeks ago, and you can't get out. It is a Hotel California situation, but that's a giant product. And so you have the worst of both worlds where IV is super pumped and there's no liquidity.
Oof.
And so then you're really screwed. So Steven, my SAC trades made 383 so far, but I can't follow the instructions, so there were a number of early exits to grab profits.
He admitted it.
Listen, shout out though. Shout out.
PPPAG, you can consolidate all those. That's correct. Yeah. I did that with all the ones. I just have one that's a little Wild Wester. I said, I'm gonna make a little I want to open up a little silver mine in the backyard. So that's what we're going on with this one. I mean, Matt, how do you meddle so well?
Listen,
yeah, Matt, why are you so metal?
I'm not trading that kind of stuff. I'll find some positions I have and model them on the show sometime if I have options positions. I'm not trading them like in and out. I hold them for months or longer or years. So, I mean, oil's in the tank right now, kind of, considering what we've got. Brent's up to 65. So, I mean, it hasn't been that exciting, but commodities just in general, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys have followed the copper stuff. A lot of people think copper is next. I probably need to add copper to.
Copper's a new meme stock.
I need to add copper to my CFD watch here. I'm going to do it right now. Yeah, I mean, listen,
There's a lot of memes going around right now of old
it's
people.
heavy.
boomers.
A lot of these junior miners, and I'm not in this world, but like, again, I know people like day trading these junior miners in gold and silver, and they're doing, I mean, there's been some, they're meme stocks right now. It's incredible moves. Like I said, I'm working. I don't have time to do that, but there's a lot going on. Troy, you got a model or a back test?
No, but I'll say this: there's a lot of memes. There's a lot of
Yeah.
memes going around right now where like young kids at a wedding watching the old people dance, and the meme is like young people holding Bitcoin while boomers have gold and silver.
I've
and
seen this. Yeah.
It's basically just the old people just being like,
Yeah.
the
Busting
kids
a
are-
move.
yeah. Busting a
What
move.
what was that, Troy? Can you explain what just happened?
That's called a broken robot. Anybody can do the robot. Can someone do a broken robot? That's the
I
way
would
I
call
look
that
at
the
it.
broke down robot.
Broke down robot. That's exactly right. Matt, do me a favor.
Yes.
If someone wanted to play some metals, we have a modeling tool.
We do.
What are just some of the things? Could you tell us just some of the things to look for? I mean, listen, I know you don't like being said you're an expert in the space. I get that.
I'm not
I understand
not.
that. You are to us.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
You know more about metals-
I would
more
just
metal
say
than
this
me.
in general, high, like probably an easy way to do things would be a high volume options ticker. And what's interesting, fellas, I don't know if you saw this, but CBOE just put out, let me pull it up. CBOE just put out a pretty interesting thing on, it was a, I don't know, 20-page report on just kind of like overall on the options market. And SLV and GLD were both in the highest volume top 10 ETFs. So if we want to throw up a model of one of those bad boys, Troy, that would be interesting. I'll also note on this same report, the three big boys by volume. I think I'm trying to do this in real time, and these colors all look the same to me. My eyesight's not good, but SPY, QQQ, and IWM, all of which are on Option Omega. The top three single stocks, it looks like, again, my eyesight's not good, and they used all shades of the same color. NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple, you can back test. And of course, the big daddy, the number one index ETF is SPX by a mile. So plenty of options. If you were going to do something, like, I guess the thing is, what do you want to do?
I want to make a lot of money in metals.
Okay. I mean, what, like it starts, there's Troy, there's no edge. There's no edge in structure. A structure is just a structure. So what kind of thesis do you want? Maybe like an upside fly is probably something like broken wing to the upside, maybe.
What's about to take
GLD
off,
or SLV, maybe.
Let's start.
I don't know. I'm not, like I just said, I'm not in this world. So maybe one of our chat who is in this world, but this is kind of an easy way to get into it because these tickers are a higher volume. Yeah. A month out. That's perfect. And, you could do, here's a play that I like to do in a directional like this is do exactly what you have. And then if you get upsize moves, fly it. So you could do that right there. Costs $500. You got a month. Let's look at your theta. What's your theta? Theta's not too bad. That's not too bad. Take off the short call. Let's look at the theta. It's a lot worse, huh? Look how much. I mean, we cover this in the video at 11 o'clock today, which is option traders for beginners. If you're a beginner, we spend time going into this, but look at the theta difference between having just a long call and then having a call debit spread. There's a huge theta difference. So this is very simple, but one thing I have done before, I like to do is start out with a debit spread and then add a call credit spread on top of it to turn it into a butterfly. And, you can, if you want to trade in and out of them, those are fun. And you buy yourself so much more time because your theta is just, you have the theta for the short call working for you. So that's one. But you know, I in general, I try to stick to liquid tickers on these. I should look at XLE though, because I mean, we're not a commodity show, we're a punditry show, but you know, I just kind of feel like this wouldn't be a bad time to put on something in oil that's like a little range boundy, a little kind of upside focus,
Okay.
maybe like
A
like
broken wing upside, maybe.
a broken wing upside in XLE, maybe a month out or 2 weeks out. Yeah,
Interesting.
let's do one. I'll put one on today. I would do XLE. And yeah,
is that gold or is that the oil
is,
ETF?
Yeah, this is the oil ETF.
Okay. Is it liquid? So, is it USO?
No, you want XLE is the spider. So XLE, just for everybody, XLE is an ETF. It's done by the same company that does SPY. And they're actually, if you hear people like old school people talk, they'll call them spiders. That's what, because there's in the name of the fund, it says SPDR. So we need the thesis. We feel we were left out from the last year and want to play catch up. Listen, good origami man, I'm right there with you. I want to go back in time and change all my shares into the longest call options on all the PGM companies. But I'm not sure. I think the thesis is, last year, I felt like there was a strong thesis for metals rallying, which I talked about on the show, PGMs specifically, not metals in general, even though metals in general did incredible. The only thing I don't have a thesis this year, I think there's a lot of focus on copper. So I don't know the best vehicles for copper, but that is probably what I would look to do if I was going to do something else. I'm still holding just the tails of some of my positions. And then, you know, in the cyclical world, you try to buy what's down when everybody hates it and sell it when everybody gets excited about it. But you might have to hold through years of pain. Yes, sir.
I've been waiting on. I've been holding this in, and I feel like I've just got to get it out. We're amongst friends, and you know, I do like to make wild predictions. It's one of my favorite things to do. I know Matt enjoys predictions as well. So
I do. They're a filter for how you see the world. They're a way to check your filter on reality.
That's right. So I'm going to say this, and I'm just saying it amongst friends. The video will be deleted if I'm wrong. That's the power of media. But I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to just put it out there, and I feel stupid even saying it, but I'm just going to say it. All right, here we go. I think personally that we're probably going to strike Iran this weekend.
Okay.
And here's why.
Will the market care? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. First start on that.
Here's the two reasons. One, we have, I mean, I don't know if anything's true. The internet's a lie, but you just see things all day. I saw somewhere yesterday that we currently right now in the last week have put more assets in the Middle East than we had in either Iraq war.
Troy, we should have led with this and built out a position around this. This is exciting. A filter for reality.
And I don't know if that's true, but I do know we've sent a ton of assets in the last week to that region. Two, President Trump likes the market, and he doesn't like to do things during the day. That's the one thing I do know that has played out quite well. Now, you might think to yourself, like, well, what about Greenland? That's actually a tell, to Matt's point, that he didn't do anything crazy during the week because he was never going to do something crazy.
Yeah. Listen, did you see the headline that there was a strike at Iraq that he canceled?
Yeah.
I mean, there was, so
Iran.
Sorry, Iran. Listen, I want to preface this discussion by saying it's worth recognizing that when we talk about these global events, we're not callous. Like these are real global events that have massive real world implications for people. And it's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way that options traders like, oh, how do I make a trade based on this? That being said,
Here's a trade.
How would you make a trade?
how would you make a trade based on this? And I just want to
Yikes.
admit the fact
Oh,
that
gosh.
it is the dichotomy of man that it's like, I'm not trying to sound callous. I'm trying to be honest. And those things might both be happening. But I do think XLE would be a vehicle
I
if you
don't
don't
think-
want to mess with
I don't think
futures and whatnot.
yeah, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Like, I don't want us to go to war. That's my personal philosophy.
Right.
I also trade options and know that volatility goes into options during events like this.
Well,
so you try to think about it. Now, where the callousness comes in, and this is why Polymarket's insane, is you can be like, yeah, I think they're going to strike that day. I think Burger King will actually be the first franchise in Iran, but I think
Right.
Whataburger will be second.
Yes.
You know, like that's where it starts getting weird.
That is where it gets, yeah. What's the over under on Whataburger in Tehran? I don't know. If that was the case, though, you know, the downside of the structure that we just showed is that it's capped, right? If you do debit spread. In that case, if you were looking to make that sort of play, I personally would lean towards something shorter time frame and uncapped, because you got to have the asymmetry. And then if it happens, you can manage it. Now, that being said, it's pre-market pricing.
Pre-market pricing.
It's going to be all wrong or wonky or whatever.
But you think about the oil stuff. The oil, in my mind, see, here's the I feel like I've lost so much money in the past with over doom,
right?
Doom trading.
Yes.
And so I try to think about it in this term, and I think you're right about XLE. I think it'd be a short-term play. But my thought with this stuff is like, let's say it did happen. Again, the chances are not great that it would happen, but I'm just saying that's my prediction. I think I'd be happy if my prediction was wrong. So what do you think? So then followed, what do you think will happen Sunday night when futures open, if that happened? Well, it depends on how it goes. But from what my understanding is, this would not be like one of those where it was like the 12-day Israel-Iran thing.
Yeah.
We're putting assets in for a regime change. So that's a different animal. So my theory was we would have a sharp downturn overnight. No promises on Monday if it bounces back or anything like that.
Right.
So I start thinking about what would plays be that, like, Monday morning, 9:30 a.m., we're down 250 points. That's the type of thing that, like, doesn't cost hardly anything. It's just kind of like you're not thinking about it all weekend. But it's just that it's one of those things where it's like you have it on and it was a cheap hedge for something that you think might happen. You want to take a play on it, you know? That's the way I look at this stuff. And because there's all sorts of things, I think much smarter people like Matt might be like, I mean, you could make a lot of money in XLE or gold or something like that. Well, gold's going to go crazy, right? We know that. So there's all sorts of stuff. But with that in mind, I mean, you think about it, what would you, if you thought, you know, vol's going to be high at some point in the overnight action, we're going to be down 200-300 points, and I want to use SPX as the vehicle. Well, how do you do that? How would you play that? And I'm interested. I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do it together.
You could do a downside butterfly, right?
How downside? 250?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. If it's a balanced fly, that's one thing. You could make it unbalanced where you have in case it goes past where you think you still get some money. So, you know, 50 wide on the upside, 40 wide on the downside, something like that. I mean, I
like that, Rusty.
Something like that.
I mean, that's a pretty cheap play.
That's what I mean to say with this stuff. Is like I've spent so much money in the past trying to like make a living from something that's like a very small chance of happening. And so you kind of learn your lessons. And I think this is one of the lessons learned is like, I'm happy to spend $60 on a prediction personally.
Yeah.
You know, that's
well, fun. I like so talk about Rusty, talk about the nature of making this not symmetrical on the structure of the fly. And why is that helpful, especially to
Right.
the downside?
I think, since it's a fly is essentially a debit spread and a credit spread combined, right? When you think about it. So you're buying a debit spread in front of a credit spread. So normally it's balanced. So that if it goes way past your prediction, if we take 200 points, then you would get nothing. So if you want to, let's see, what did you do, Troy? It's
You can make it balanced just to see what he's talking about. I mean,
yeah. So if you look at the expiration line, it'll go back to red, to 0. If you went all the way down to 6,500, right? Because again, we're talking geopolitical risk. None of us have any idea. So the point is, because that's balanced, because your credit and your debit spread are the same width, if you go past the entire structure, you go to 0. But if you make it a little unbalanced, at least you give yourself some room to be maybe directionally right, but not exactly right. So so you could say, well, we might get way past, 6,600.
Yeah, and the
I'd
reason
still like to make some money.
You want to make money on the downside, but so Rusty's point is the main point, which is to say, like, there's nothing worse in the world than guessing something and it exceeding what you thought was going to happen, an impractical event happening.
That's right.
That exceeds and you don't make any money from it. So, but one of the ways you make money from that is the vol. You actually have Vega, even more Vega, the shorter that long put behind the short put gets to your short put. You're adding
put Vega on there.
You're adding Vega to it. So
put the Greeks on there, buddy.
Let me put some Greeks on there.
Put Vega on there.
All right.
Let them see.
Let's look at, like, right now you're
long Vega.
Yeah. Let's say overnight something happens. We go crazy. Your Vega is helping you quite a bit long before you get to the short strike, right? Especially with vol. If vol's coming, like your Vega line you're starting to make money much quicker. So versus something like that, you might make, you'll definitely be up as it's going down. But again, to the point, you want to make a play that's like you're going to profit from. And so really is $38 versus $60, is that what we're trying to save on the front end for this prediction?
Right.
No. And so there's that. I mean, that's the nature of it. The nice thing about that butterfly, I agree, Rusty, is I think that gives you some Vega. You've got a huge tent, so the gamma is actually helping you pretty much as soon as you go down. Like, the Greeks are in your favor for a small amount.
That's where I was going with that. And that's the advantage for making it not balanced in some way. You can unbalance. There's a couple different structures. You could break a wing. You could also unbalance it. And doing either of those structures to the downside, I just think of it as, the waters, the mountain has water. It's coming down both sides of the mountain. And you just need a little bit of an advantage to help get your bucket out there when it's the downside. So the Greeks work in your favor. So that was a extremely tortured mountain stream analogy that didn't work at all. And on that note,
I love it. That's what we do here at OO.
That's why you come. That's why you come for the show. And breaking it on the other side. So listen,
that's the thing.
That's a great question.
If you break it on the other side, then if you're wrong directionally, you'll lose money. But if you're wrong directionally. If you're wrong directionally, you could make money because you might get it for a credit, right? So if the width of your credit spread is greater than your debit spread, if you break it on the other side, then maybe you'll say, hey, nothing might happen. I'd still like to get a credit for this and not lose money. But if you're really wrong, or if you're right, but you're like way too right, and we go down 600 points, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You have a lot more risk.
I love that idea more to the call side, where there's a natural kind of cap to how much things can happen. Although we did go up 10% last year in one day.
We all like it. That completely reconfigured how we think of upside moves, isn't it, Troy?
Yes.
We're like, upside, it never melts up. And you're like, oh, crap. Well,
But But in general, you think again, this is spoken painfully from previous iterations. As soon as you're collecting a credit, you're fundamentally doing something different than what your thesis is, which is I think something's in a gap down and vol is going to go up a lot. Well, a credit spread's not going to help you on a massive vol up play. It's you're actually going it's going to go against you if it does what you want, if you think it's going to do over the weekend. So you just have to think about the structure like that. Like if you think something crazy is going to happen, pay the debit and reap the rewards. Don't try to do any of that stuff. What they're talking about, what Zippo's talking about, is a great index that I have referenced many times at 1 a.m. in the morning. There's a Pentagon pizza.
Are we about to talk about pizza?
Pizza index.
I think there's some. Go ahead.
Well, Matt, I mean, you sound like you know. I mean, Matt, what's going on?
No. Go ahead, please.
There's a pizza index in the Pentagon. Not in the Pentagon, but there's people who basically monitor the pizza shops by the Pentagon, and they monitor the gay bars by the Pentagon. And basically, the theory is if the gay bar is empty and the pizza places are full, we have a DEFCON situation happening at the Pentagon.
That is a lot going on. So there's a DOCON. I'm not contradicting this. I just want to add a layer of nuance to this because I was unaware and somebody educated me. So let me attempt to share my screen in real time. And let's see if I can do this properly. Okay. We are on an official government website. Is this showing up for you guys? Okay.
Yep.
This is the an official website of the U.S. government. It's whatever that website is. And this is, I didn't know this, so I'm just going to put this out there. These are the restaurants inside the Pentagon. Like, I'm just going to say this. I've never considered working in the Pentagon, but this list, they have.
It's not a bad list.
Listen, I don't know what Lebanese taverna is, but that sounds amazing. I'm all in on Taco Bell.
Dunkin' Donuts, if you really.
I'm all in on Moe's. You got a Panda Express, Dunkin', McDonald's.
We need an episode of Moe's versus Salsaritas versus what's the other one that everyone loves? Chipotle.
So many Chipotle, Sweet Green.
Listen, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Salsaritas best. We're just gonna do
that. Salsaritas all day. Salsaritas is the best.
So,
in chat, I'm sorry, Salsaritas is the best.
I've never had it. You guys have never taken me there. What does it take to get a trip there? If somebody knew somebody in Knoxville, maybe that could happen, but maybe not.
You should move to Knoxville, you dirty commie.
Yep. So anyway, listen, guys, we've got some internal dialogues going with Salsaritas right now. We got to work out, but in short, options involve risks. They're not suitable for all investors. Everything said on the show today about like possible country wars is just for entertainment purposes. That's all. It's just for entertainment purposes. So, I also just want to do a quick side note that I did not see a pizza place in the Pentagon, which actually strengthens the argument.
Hang on. Let's double check this. I think I still have it pulled up. I've got 800 windows open on my screen right now. And for pizza, Panera has flatbread. There's also Mama DeLuca's. This looks like a giant pizza slice right here. So maybe the argument is that if you don't like the Mama DeLuca's, then you go to one of the local joints.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you've ever worked in a mall, obviously you eat in the mall most of the time, right?
You get tired of the food, though.
You do get tired of the food. I'm just going to say it. So anyway, there's a Panera in there for Dan. Shout out.
There was a Panera?
If Dan ever has to go to the Pentagon, Dan's set, which I love. And Dan wasn't here this morning. He was traveling. So
he'll be back at 11. What's at 11, Troy?
We haven't even talked because 11, Dan's going to teach options trading for beginners, and Matt's going to be on there again today, killing it. So I'm excited about that. Real excited about that. And I'll also tell you guys this. That's 11 on our YouTube channel. Matt's got like 18 shared screens open right now.
What?
You just got like 18 shared screens on the left of our panel, which is funny to me. Yeah, there it is. So we have Friday, 11 a.m. And then big, something big could be happening this weekend with countries. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but just saying that's what it is. Final thing, we should say we're trying to get it all out there, guys. I mean, are you ready for Snowmageddon?
We haven't.
The models. Like, I have a list of things I have to go get today. I have to get multiple gallons of water still. I have to get sausage.
Oh my gosh. How do we trade this?
Bacon.
Do you go long power companies or short power companies if the power goes out?
I can tell you what I do is I go crazy after 2 days.
Are your batteries charged?
I've got the batteries charged. I've got my own little cabin now to come up here.
Yeah,
too.
Troy, listen, it's 9:27. I hate this because shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome. There's many things to discuss in the chat. We didn't even discuss Troy's new studio setup. We have 3 minutes left before the bell, and we're not going to get to it all. But our chat, you guys are awesome. John, Joe, Tom, Stephen, I would like to talk about everything they said. We don't have time.
I don't know what it says about our people, but they're all named the most like normal names. John, Joe, like that list was incredible. John, Joe,
yes,
Tom, Stephen. Listen, so we're prepared. If you are in the snow, be safe this weekend. I know in Knoxville, they're saying basically Sunday is just ice day. It's just going to rain ice for like 12 hours. So
I will say it does. I try to remember all the first responders and EMTs who have to work during this.
Certainly.
It's awful.
Certainly.
My neighbors have multiple. I live in a firefighter district. It's very bizarre. There's firefighters everywhere in my neighborhood. And fires are particularly bad when it's like this, when the weather's cold, actually. It's got a bunch of unique challenges. But it is a blessing that it's on a Saturday, Sunday, rather than like a Monday, Tuesday. So yeah. I'm going to go start the snowblower tonight. And if it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll feel worse. And if it does work, I'll feel better.
Okay.
And get the shovels out and rearrange the garage so the shovels and the snowblower are easy access. It's Snowmageddon, 7 to 10 inches. That's what they're saying.
We're getting 1 to 2 now.
I love
ice or snow.
Of just anything.
Wintry mix.
Yeah. I live in Knoxville, so I have no snowblower and don't even know what it looks like. So listen, have a great weekend.
Stay warm, guys.
Stay warm out there.
Extra blankets.
Good trading, and we'll see you Monday morning. Well, actually, we'll see you at 11 with Dan and Matt. So we'll see you guys in just about an hour and a half. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.